yet, but for those of you who are watching after the fact, glad you're here. And if you didn't make it for the live, hope you're having a good day so far. Just figured I'd do a Q&A while I had some time. Hope you guys are having a good Independence Day, 4th of July. See if anybody joins here. Oh, a little bit softer over here than I thought it'd be. How's it going, guys? See, there's a couple people have joined now. How's it going, Bus Boy 158? I got so sorry if you hear me sipping on that. What's going on, guys? Here to take any questions you all have, or just anything you want to tell me. I'm not taking any of the buses out. This is just going to stay here. But hope you guys are having a good 4th of July. Reed's Buses and Items, this is your shout out. How's it going? How's it going, Sam? The seats will be staying in 147. I've got a different insurance provider for this one, so whenever I get the floor fixed on 23, it's going to get seats back in it and going with the same insurance provider. So, how's it going, Jonathan? Sorry to hear that you're sick, Reed. 4th of July is going pretty good so far. Let's see, Busboy 158. I'm on a school bus. My CE. Nice. Do you have a CE of your own? Or is it the one you ride? Or how's it going, Busmaster 8096? I should get a Bluebird. Vision. I'd like a first gen Vision, but you know, I just don't have the money right now because I've got other things that I should be spending my money on, and not school buses. As much as I'd like to, you know, it's just not in the cards right now. It is toasty today. It's in the upper 80s, lower 90s. Well, I'm glad you stopped by. Hello to you too. The buses are doing all right. You know, I wish I had more time to really spend on them. I do have some free time tomorrow, but I got to do stuff, you know, for my personal life tomorrow that does not have to do with the buses, though I am taking that one to work because the church up the hill does fireworks around this time of year, you know, because it's 4th of July, but they're doing it tomorrow instead of today. So they close the road off. We really can't get any work done because of the amount of people that are around, so we just kind of sit and watch. So I'm going to watch from the roof of that tonight and tomorrow night. What did I do today? I went to my grandma's, visited her for a little bit, and then came down here. I just got done taking 23 out. Took it on some back roads and stuff, and it was nice. Really good to drive this thing. It's been a couple weeks since I took it out. Let's see. You have a C2 and a CE. Very nice. It got up to 81 today. Yeah, that's a little warm. This series Wayne and the bus meet originally came from Fulton Independent Schools in Fulton, Kentucky. Yeah. Whenever Luke brought that home, he stopped by here, so I got to see that whenever he brought it home, and then whenever we did the Columbus bus meet, I got to see it there too. Oh, and you also have Wayne International. Nice. Get a black grill for the Freightliner. Well, I'm thinking about it. I do have 2 grills now because this still needs to go on there whenever I get time and manpower. So I'm probably going to take one of them. Probably this one because it's in worse shape, and I'm going to paint it. At least the paint's in worse shape on this one, and it's cracked. Right there. So I'll probably paint it black, take all these winter front snaps off, and then paint it and put them back on. Let's see. I would love to have a 3800 with the old dash. I love the way those old dashboards look. There's a district in Ohio near me that still was running 1990 Thomas Internationals. They both ended up at Mike and B and got scrapped. I did a video on one of them, but they had that old dash and it was beautiful. What it's like underneath the hood on 23. All right. If I can do this one-handed. I can't open it from the front, which is one reason I'm getting a new hood. This side that's broken. Yeah, it's this side that's broken, I believe. Or no. I forget which side it is. I think it is this side. There's one of these sides that's broken. I think it's this one. Can't really tell from this angle. But that's kind of what it looks like. You ride a Ford Transit to and from school. Nice. I like the way those Ford Transits drive. My other job, we have some of those as panel vans. I like the way they drive. Let's see. Thank you, JD Tank. Oh, my grandma's doing good. You know, she's in her early 80s now, and she's doing pretty good for her age. Yeah, right here's where the hood's broke. That's why I'm putting that one on. I mean, it's got the repair kit on it, and you know, that helps, but still. See the 92 Ward 3800 and 93 BB Bluebird 3800. Yes, I drove the Ward up there. What in the entire world would you lot? What do you mean? Very humid and flooding in Massachusetts. It's not happy. Happy 4th of July though, yeah. That's not good with the flooding. Have I had any trouble out of my cat motor? None at all so far. Knock on wood, wherever there is some. Actually, there's some in here. Hold on. Where's it at? Back here. I've got a mess in here. All right. I've had very good luck out of this thing so far. I've had it just over 2 years and it's never given me any issues. So, very pleased with it. Very good runner. Oh, well, out of what in the entire, what I want, bus-wise. I want a lot of different things. You can ask Cameron about that. I say I want a lot of different stuff, but it's hard to choose one. I'm your favorite YouTuber. Thank you. Yeah, I try to do entertaining videos or educational videos. You know, I try not to be like fake or anything. I just try to make videos that people enjoy. How's it going, CSX Rail fan? Life is going all right. How about yourself? 23 is a wonderful bus. I'm very fortunate to have it. I just need to spend more time with it, and I really need to do some work to it. I don't know what you all used up there in Barber County, but on the roads, but it did some damage, and you know, some of it's my fault too. But let's see, has Noah gotten 39's hood yet? Yes, he has. He just posted a bus update about it, I think today or yesterday. I have not driven a 08 Bluebird Vision yet. The newest I've driven is an 07, actually, Bluebird. I drove a first gen, not a second gen. I'd like to try out a second gen Vision. I'm alright, Reed. How about yourself? Salt and rock, yeah. It definitely took its toll on this poor old bus. So it's gonna need the floor replaced, and that's probably going to be a winter job if I can afford it this winter. So, because I need new plywood, new rubber, and probably some new sheet metal. So that's not going to be fun. It'd be a lot cheaper to do it myself than have somebody else do it, though. So, what is my favorite bus to ever exist? My old bus 681. I never got to buy it. I tried to buy it. That's what the 681 and Project 681 is from. But it ended up being a schoolie in Florida. The ignition sound of 08 Vision is terrible. That's what I've heard. I don't know what it sounds like, but I could probably look it up and listen to it at some point. Not while I'm live, because I really don't have a way to do it, but if I remember, I will. But if you guys want to see anything on the buses, just let me know, and I'll do my best. We're not going to drive them, but, you know, I'll start them up and show off the lights or whatever you want to see. My favorite, 23, 147, or 594, definitely 23. You know, it was my first. I love this bus to death. It's a lot more fun to drive than any of the others that I've had. This one's also a lot of fun to drive. 594 was too. I've never had a bus that, or out of the ones that I've owned, the 3 that I've owned, I've never had a bus that I didn't like. I even like 594. I miss having a mechanical 466, but, you know, this is just closer to what I wanted, so I had to get rid of one to buy one. How much does Mike and Bees charge for LED lights? It just kind of varies. I got, let's see, 4 turn signals, 2 reverse lights, 2 brake lights, all 7-inch, and then the 4-inch brake lights for $75. I think they charged me the same for a set of warning lights. So it's the sound off warning lights that are like on this one, and sound off, you know, everything else. These were new. I bought these off of eBay for $40 a piece. Light check on the 3800. All right. So I really don't, there's no like lamp check switch on this bus. It's too old to have one, at least for any that I've seen here in West Virginia. But I will show you how you can do a light check on this despite that, and how I do it during my pre-trip on my C2, even though I have that switch, because they encourage us to check the individual switches. So right here, I'll go ahead and do this. So basically what we'll do, well, first what we need to do is, before we do anything, because we need to check the reverse lights, right? On my C2, I have the luxury of a backup camera that I can use, where I can pretty much see those pretty well. So, get a wheel chock, shove that up under the rear wheels there, to make sure it don't roll. There we go. So just an accessory. I think we could put it in reverse. Oh no, you have, wait. No, you have to have the engine on for that. So headlights on. We'll go ahead and do the reds while we're at it, and we will do the left turn signal. So I'm gonna have to start it up, and we will put her in reverse. Actually, we'll do the right one. I changed my mind. We'll do the right one, and we'll do the ambers, so that way we can just stick our head out the back door and not have to walk out of the bus. Come back here. So you can check your lights there. Got my amber flashing, you can barely see it. Amber over here is flashing. And those are my just daytime running lights on the brake lights. Forget how tough that door is to close sometimes. And then what we'll do is we'll do the left turn signal, and I'll show you why we do it this way. And get something to prop the brake pedal. So, hold on. So, get something to activate your brake pedal. Hope that's enough. There we go, that should be enough. Maybe. Let's see. I'm going to set you down for a moment while I try and get this done. Come on. Maybe, maybe not. Did it earlier. Or another, actually did a video on this, hasn't been uploaded yet. But, now go ahead and turn the brights on. So that is everything, I believe. So we will come out here. And of course, none of these, whenever you do the other turn signal, you want to check your mirrors, make sure these are flashing. Because you can see those in the mirror, and the front one, the front turn signal. But the brakes are applied, so the brake lights are on. You can see the reds are on, clearance lights are all on. Can't really like see it because of the daylight, but if you look closely in person, you can see it. So you can tell that these lights are on. And the reason why we do this while we're outside is because of this one that's right behind the stop sign. So if you want to do it while you're inside, you can just open this up and peek out, but it's easier to do it while you're walking around the outside. Checking your clearance lights, all of your turn signals. And most of the lights up here, like on the front of the bus, you can check in your cross view, so you really don't have to do it this way. But that's how you can check your lights on this bus. So, turn that master switch off. Take this out. Shut her off. Turn the brights off, that's for sure. And if you want to go and check your hazard lights, you know, you can walk to the back of the bus and check that out too if you want, but I'm not going to demonstrate that here. And if you want, you can check your dome lights while you're in here while the bus is running and all that fun stuff. But let's see. Start 23 up, show the lights and the engine off. Yes, I can do that. Key's already in it, which helps. So clutch in. I'll start the engine, we'll go outside and then come back in here and do the lights. And we'll do the exterior walk around before we do the interior thing, because this one, you actually, where it's a manual transmission, you have to do it just a little bit different. So let's not do that. I'm trying to connect to my Bluetooth there. Very strong runner. Where some of these requests are taking a little longer, it may take me a little longer to get to your messages, so I'll try to get to everybody. That is the 7.2 liter Cat 3126B, I think. Get up here and look. I know it's 3126, I'm just trying to remember which letter it is. I think it's the B. But very good runner. Very pleased with this bus over the 2 years that I've had it. But go ahead and shut the hood. Maybe. There's another reason why I wanted a new hood, because sometimes this one's hard to shut. There we go. That latch. And this latch. So we'll turn the headlights on. And like I said, a lot of these you can check in your crossovers. So we'll do, we're going to do the outside walk around, so we'll do the left turn signal. Doors are already open, so we'll just go ahead and do the reds. Let's see, what else do we need to do? We need the brakes, which I did. I somehow managed to prop them with this little flag I found in 594, which I think used to be a state spec. Oh, I just broke it. Nice. Let's see. there's anything in here heavy enough that, or long enough. It's not too long. Let's see. What if I could prop it somehow with this? Might be able to. We'll find out. Oh, I got an idea, actually. Maybe. Broom handle is a little long. Oh well. Well, we'll just pretend like I put something on the brake pedal there. Let me zoom back out. Sorry. Let's see. So we'll walk out here. You know, just check your marker lights like we did on 147. Get back here, check our reds that are going, check all the marker lights again. Turn signal. And we're going to pretend like these are the brake lights that are on. It's just the daytime running lights, tail lights, whatever you want to call them, that are on, but we'll pretend it's the brake lights because I don't have anything to prop it right now. But come around here. Can't really see it, but my bottom bulb's not working there. Check this. It's working. And like I said, you can check a lot of this stuff in your crossover mirrors before you even get up. Check all these lights, all the clearance lights, everything. So, good thing about this bus as well is that where it's an air door, the mechanism for the amber lights is not activated by the door itself. It is activated by the switch, or like a switch within the door is activated by the actual switch. So even with this closed, I can open this, turn the ambers on, and, you know, open the door, and the ambers are still on. Cannot do that in 147. So, we'll shut the engine off here. Oh, goodness. Seat aired itself all the way up. But, let's see. Turn the brights off. But we'll keep the normal headlights on. And we can put it in reverse. You can see. We'll come back here. And we're going to pretend like it's chalked. I did not chalk it, but we're going to pretend like it is. Parking brake's on. Bus is not on. Probably not going to move still. You want to do that as precaution. Do as I say, not as I do. Check your reverse lights and your amber lights and your tail lights. You see this amber is not working, but I'll just put one of the ones from 147 on it. Ooh. All right, now let's get this thing out of gear. And there we go. All right, see if I can find the next one. Allison label got a touch up. Yes, I got a white paint marker, and I did this shifter too. This didn't used to have the white on it, but I touched them both up with the paint marker. Thought it looked nice. How's it going, ICCE 105? The old international hazard light switches. You mean like the like this one's got, or like Noah's Wayne has got, where it's behind the turn signal stalk? So actually, what I'll do is go ahead and open the door back up. But on 147, it's up under the steering wheel on the bottom, and on the older ones, like 594 and Noah's Wayne 45, is actually behind the turn signal stalk here. Let's see. What has my opinion been on the Cat 3126 so far? Any issues you could see would make you consider buying a Cummins if you bought the bus all over again? No. The only real issues I have with the Way 23 drives is it is so slow. I'm not sure if it's the transmission or the rear end gearing or what. It's got 461 rear end gears, I think. But you're in 5th gear at like 40 miles an hour, and it has no power on hills, which it came from the mountains, so it makes sense, but have all the power in the low end, but still. Nothing with the engine. I mean, I love the 3126. I wanted one with the 3126. I just like the way they drive a lot better. I think the 5.9s are a little underpowered, at least the ones that I've driven have been. So, if I were to do it all over again, I'd still get it 3126. I wish they offered them with the 8.3 Cummins, because I'd probably do that, because in the trucks they offered that, so, but not the buses for some reason. But let's do this with 147. I'll show the amber everything. So turn the master switch on. See, the ambers are on. But if I open the door, the reds come on. So turn the ambers back on. Don't know if you can see it there in the mirror, but when I open the door, there we go. So you have to turn the master switch off in order to do that. So if I want to go outside and look at the ambers, I have to hop out the back door. Try and zoom out a little bit here. If it'll let me. There we go. 04FE needs a hazard light switch replaced. I've not done that before, so I don't know how involved that would be, but I can't imagine it'd be too easy. Because I assume that it's the same, steering wheel or steering column that you have to deal with there. So, yeah, I can't imagine it'd be that easy. It is hot today. But if there's anything else you guys want to see, just let me know. Yeah, I can't imagine it'd be any different. Both of ours are internationals that are also 2004s, so. Nice project. 24. I like those old Genesises. Thought about buying one a few years ago. I would say it's probably 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Maybe 2020. I did videos on them, but it kind of came across as a little like, these buses are junk, but here's this church information, because I told him that like I'd send it to some people that may be interested. Nobody that I knew ended up buying them because they were just trash. Would I buy a 2009 CE200? Probably not. It'd have to be a really darn good deal, next to nothing, and it would get the seats torn out of it and used for storage. That'd be about the only good use for that bus for me. Let's hear the horn on both buses. There's that one, 147. And 23, let's see if I won't be able to reach in there, but have air horns I need to put on these, and I need to choose which one of these buses I need to put the train horn on. Probably this one, but I'm not sure yet. There's both buses' horns. Let's see. Live chat. Yeah, I've got horns down in the storage unit, air horns down in the storage unit. Honestly, whichever one I put the train horn on, I'm considering just removing the city horn that you just heard in the steering wheel and just hooking it up to that. Not sure yet, though. I'll go ahead and put this wheel chock away before I forget. This is actually one of 23s. I didn't get any with 147. Also, eventually I'm going to have to move everything in 23's tire chain box into this one, because like I said, salt didn't treat it too well. You can see this one's got a little bit of rust, but that's about normal. 23 decided it wanted to give itself some drain holes in its storage box. So I love the air horn on the 88 Wayne. I like it. I know it's kind of weird, but I liked how it was just a chain like on the switch panel. But let's see, there's some extra oil that I have in here. So you can see back there, there's sunlight popping through. Here's an aerosol can. Not supposed to be like that. So if you ever wanted to see the internals of an aerosol can, but yeah, not supposed to be like that at all. So not very good. Also, those chains are just not worth anything. Those need to go to scrap. But yeah, I took one of the wheel chocks out of here for 147. Kept the one in here for 23 just in case I need it. Let's see if I can get the chat to come back up. There we go. Don't know what happened to it. Disappeared along with the first gen CE, a 2004 ICFE, and one I'm saddest about, 24 2008 ICFE with the max force. Yeah, I mean, you'll have that sometimes. We just got rid of a bunch of buses not too long ago. Hated to see them go. The last of the All-Americans are gone. We still have 2 Bluebird Internationals, 04s. One of them's being used by the maintenance department. Well, they're both being used by the maintenance department, but one of them's actually, I think, full of bus drivers. It goes around and paints the bus shelters that we have over the summertime. That's the only thing it does now, is just summertime bus shelter painting. That's 687, and 685 is one used by the maintenance department. Not sure what they use it for, but it's the only one that we had with air conditioning, so of course they got it. But 687's a mess. It's, covered in paint inside and out now, so I'd rather the air conditioned bus be the one that stays nice. I actually wouldn't mind having that one if I had not bought this one. I really don't need a second Bluebird International, as cool as it would be, but if I'm gonna be on a budget collecting buses, I really don't want pretty much the exact same thing. Hoping it comes back, but I don't think it will, because it's rolling coal really bad. Yeah. How long's it been gone? Because if it's been gone quite a while, then I'd say it's probably gonna stay gone. But those of you that may want to see the underside of this hood, I know it's got some stuff growing up under it, but I'm gonna have to reuse these from 23, because whenever they took it off, they cut the wire here. So I'm gonna have to reuse the ones from 23. That's not bad. Since early February, yeah, probably. I don't know how your district does it, but I wouldn't have my hopes too high that it'd be coming back. Hello, Emmanuel. How's it going? Cameron, are you still here? Because I saw you comment earlier. See what it looks like underneath the hood of 147. All right, you can't really see anything because it's got giant inner fenders on the inside, but we'll go ahead and pull her open. See what I mean? But what we can do is I'll grab hold of this mirror and the step, come up here. That's what it looks like up here. So I didn't get my old school bus, but I got one a lot like it. Well, I guess these are technically now my old school buses, but it's not the one that I rode. Neither of these I rode. They're not even from the same district I went to, but this one's a lot like it. Just a year newer. Somebody said these are a lot oh yeah, I do see how these are a lot easier. There's a cat. There's a cat. I doubt it'll let me pet it, but you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to make myself look like an idiot, but maybe. I want to pet the cat. If there's two things I'm going to be known for, it's school buses and cats. Let's see. Okay, yeah, no, he's running away. Don't want to scare him. But there's a nice view. See, these I pulled off a 594 before I sold it, and I threw it on this one just because why not? What's my opinion on the new CE? I like it. I like the way the second gen CE looks better, but I've driven one of the new MV trucks, which is what that is based on, and they drive pretty nice, so I assume the new CE will probably drive just as nice, if not a little better. Seems like the buses drive a lot better than the box trucks do, but just in general, Freightliner International doesn't matter, but yeah, I like it. and I think the CE needed a facelift, and I'm glad it's finally getting one. I do hate to see the second gen CE go, but it was way past due. I have a lot of cats. I made the mistake a long time ago of having a boy and a girl and not getting them fixed. And I mean, they live good lives, you know, we take care of them, but bringing 2 of them with me whenever I get the apartment fully ready. I know I just shut up the hood, but I'm going to open it again. I wasn't even thinking. I like the C2. You know, I rode them growing up. Now I drive one, so they're neat. Those are the only conventionals we have in my fleet now, so. I do not like the new roof caps on the Visions. I think they should have changed the T3 roof cap to the Vision roof cap. You know, I'm not sure about that. About the gauge sweep thing. I'm not sure. I really have very, very little experience around ICs. I've driven a couple, but never actually driven one on the road. Drove one in the rodeo, and I've driven a couple at Mike and Beeb. That's about it. I think I've driven 4 second gen CEs total. 3 of them were at Mike and Beeb. There's dome lights. Put LED lights in there a long while ago. 3800 and 3000 post 2001. Yeah. I don't know. I do need to swap that one out though. I've got the one to do it. This came out of Noah's Crown by Carpenter, number 59, for those of you who remember. I pulled this out like 4 years ago. The only thing is I'm going to have to take them both apart because I need to swap these 2 out, the hours and the miles for this gauge cluster. And also, as you can see, if you look over here, these 3 are blank. But in the middle over here, I've got a trans temp gauge. So I need to take that out of this gauge cluster and put it in that one. I've been told that it is possible to swap all those over. So I just have to take this gauge cluster out, take them both apart, swap the parts I need to keep from this one onto that one, and then put the other one in and see if it works. So, but yeah, about the, I did do that. You can see where I kind of smeared it a little bit, but there's that. I picked it out in white paint marker. I just thought it'd be nice, you know, a nice little detail. Couldn't really think of anything else that I could do that on in here, or else I probably would have done it. Because it was not a very fine tip. It was kind of a larger tip, and that's why I smeared it a little bit. It's kind of hard to get it precise. But had it been like a fine tip, I probably would have like just done the logos, or not the logos, but like the picture here on the wiper switches, and probably would have touched up some of the other stuff here too. But would I rather own ICFE or a Thomas EF? I don't know, it just kind of depends on the specs, I guess. I'm not really a fan of front engine transits. If I were to take a front engine transit, it would be anything before an A3 FE Bluebird. Like, I'd want a Bluebird one. Pretty much up to, I think it's like 98 or 99, whenever they quit that pre-A3 design, as I like to call it. But yeah, Wood County, where that one came from, actually still has 4 of those in service. So if I have the ability to buy one whenever they decide to retire them, I would like to buy one. Because I think I'd love to have a Transit next, because I have 2 conventionals. But let's see, somebody asked for 23 to be on along with 147. I'm trying to get the chat back up. It's gone away. Hear the engine revving on 147. Alright. Actually, what I'll do is I'll rev the engine on that one, and then I'll put it in high idle, and then I'll put this one in high idle as well. So that way you can hear them both. Well, before we do that, just listen to them both. Alright. One thing I do like about this bus that I haven't shown off yet is this works. Hello, how's it going? Too bad camera's not here anymore. Oh, that's a little too loud. What's happening, guys? Safety liner C2 here. But don't know if you could hear that coming through the speakers. Yeah. Thought about painting those black, but where I'm getting the black top on 23, I don't want to have too much black on that hood, so. Will these headlights fit the Ford Crown by Carpenter? I'm not 100% sure on that. That just depends on the size of the light, and well, the lights that I got actually have a plug in case the plug on the vehicle is not the same, but ended up being the same on these. But these are 5x7s. Both of these buses take the same headlight. I just got slightly different styles, same manufacturer. Let's see. Oh, that's neat. I didn't know I could. Oh, maybe I'm just stupid. I thought I was adjusting the lighting there, but maybe I'm not. Turn the headlights on this one on. So that way both buses have their headlights on. What's my favorite bus that Noah had? Probably 45. Eight ways, all right. Oh, I almost tripped. There you go. Oh, they're pretty much in sync too. Well, they were. You can tell they've got slightly different flashing units in them. Flash different speeds. I should be in 799 next year. I don't have any plans on changing routes unless they just totally, you know, mess it up. They've been combining routes and things like that, and putting more on certain people, and they've been trying to do that to me, but I won't let them. I have 2 elementary runs they're trying to combine, and trying to convince them not to do that, because I know they'll just stick something else on me. So if that happens, I might try and bid on another run, but right now $7.99 is in a good location for me. So I like the run, I like the kids, so I plan on staying there until something closer to home comes up. 4 ways, all right, we'll do 4 ways as well. I don't think these are going to shine or flash in sync, but I guess we'll find out. We'll go around to the back here and show you the backs too. You can thank the school bus driver shortage, or at least that's what they're blaming. Nobody wants to drive a school bus for the pay that we get. And I totally understand why. So price ranges on the hoods, where I do a lot of work with them, I think they gave me a little bit of a deal because of that. I know they normally charge school districts upwards of like $1,000 for a hood, but I got this one. She offered me $800 for it. I made a counter offer of $700 and she took it. So, or yeah, $700. I really didn't want to pay that much for it, but I needed a hood and I wanted ones with black top. This has got the crossview mirror setup that I want. So, you know, needs a little bit of work, needs a clean, and it's got the matte black up here. I might redo it in gloss, which there's 2 purposes for a black hood. The matte black hoods are actually the ones that really serve 2 purposes. The gloss black only serves 1 purpose, but the one that everybody hears about, I feel like, is it keeps sun, or reduces the amount of sunlight reflecting off the top of the hood, which has never been a problem for me. But it also warms the engines up faster in the wintertime, so because it draws more sunlight in, just doesn't reflect it. But the gloss hoods, you know, reflect that sunlight too. So this came off of an Ohio bus, and Ohio does not allow glossed hoods at all. So like the top of the hood cannot be glossed at all. So that's why in Ohio you'll see a lot of like older buses, like Freightliners especially, I've noticed, where this section is just like a lot more faded along these same lines than the rest of the hood. And that's why. But, let's see. I like the black ovals around the taillights, so I'm going to keep it. I have, though, thought about, instead of ovals, if I ever ended up replacing the hood on this bus for whatever reason, honestly, if this hood did not look as good as it does, I probably would have put an S-Series hood on it. But where this paint is in such good shape where they repainted it, I really don't want to like take it off, because it's a nice hood. It's in very good shape. But back here with the ovals, in 1985, and only 1985, Bluebird did a rectangle around those lights. I actually have a video of an 85 All-American that was that way. That was the only year they did it, and I like the way it looks. Not as much as the ovals, but you know, just one of those things that differentiate the two, especially since a lot of the lights and stuff that I'm putting on them are going to be exactly the same. So they're really going to be two very similar buses, just different chassis and some different specs, district side of it. But like the original customer who bought and ordered buses knew. But yeah, let's see. Anything else? Let's see. Well, have fun, CSX Rail fan. I'm going to be over here in Barbersville with the fireworks, standing on the roof of this one. Oh, there is something. I'm going to go over this in an update at some point, but this alone does not constitute an update. So whenever I was washing the roof of this thing yesterday, I noticed something that I did not know that this was spec'd with. I did not know Wood County spec'd these at all. It looks like they only did it on the 2004s. But it's got a number on the roof, which I thought was very cool. This roof looks a lot better than it did too. Like you can see, that one's kind of grimy. I still have not cleaned the roof of that one yet, but I did this one only because me and a friend are going to be watching the fireworks from it tonight. So, I had to take my shoes off because I don't want to get shoe prints all over my seats. But let's see. Looks like I got some comments I haven't read. Well, it's good having you here, Sam. Yeah, well, I'll see you on the next live stream, I'm sure. And you have a good rest of your 4th of July. Let's see, strangest bus I've seen. That's a good question. I've seen some strange ones. Probably the Green Power Beast. That thing just is odd. I really don't care for it, if I'm being honest. Though if they wanted to, you know, give me a sponsorship, I would talk good about it. There are good things about it that I really like, but I just don't really care for a lot of the things that it is. Redo the hood number on 147. Well, I moved it down because I really didn't care for it on the hood. It was just vinyl that was on there. Can't really see the imprints anymore. Well, you can if you look close, but I don't think you're going to be able to see them here. It was like right here where it was. I can see the 4 and the 7. I guess the 1 would be about right here. But I actually need to take this off and redo it because this is too big. This is 1 inch too big. So I need to peel these off and redo it. Got to get it a size or 1 inch smaller. Because this is how it's supposed to be. That's the size it's supposed to be, and it's too big. Oh, roof number. You know, I would, but it's one of those things that people really aren't going to see. And I'm just thrilled that it's on there in general. I thought about putting one on this bus because it does not have one. I've been on the roof of this one a few times, but this one does not have one. And I really don't like dealing with large vinyl like that. So basically what I'm thinking about doing is just getting huge stencils, probably like 1 foot tall stencils, and painting it on there with black spray paint. So well, I think the Green Power Beast, I mean, yeah, it does take a lot of design cues from Bluebird, but I'm gonna shut these off so you can actually hear me talking. But it does take a lot of design cues from Bluebird, but it really seems like it was built as a charter bus, and then they just couldn't get the range to make it a charter bus because it only has like a 100-mile range. So they just thought, what else could we make this into? So they just shoehorned it into a school bus. But yeah, that's my thought on that. I'm not 100% sure if that's what happened, but just with the way that the driver's area is lower than the passenger area and how it's got, you know, pass-through storage on the bottom, you can't order it without it. It's just the way the bus is built. Those are two very coach bus things. It is also the size of a coach bus because of the way it's built. So I'm just thinking that was more, you know, aimed to be a coach bus instead of a school bus. Let's see. Have I seen Cloverleaf's fleet in Ohio? I have not. How's it going, Chris? Doing all right this evening? It is hot out here. I think after I shut this live off, I'm just going to sit in my car for a little bit with the air conditioning going. Whew. It's not necessarily that it's like hot, it's humid. That's what it is. I think there's still too big of a transit market, especially for Thomas and Bluebird, for them to get rid of it. I think just where IC stopped making the front engine bus, you know, just kind of, I don't want to say they shot themselves in the foot with it, because they did pretty well without it for, 12, 13 years, whatever it was. But they just weren't selling enough rear engines either, I guess. So, because Thomas and Bluebird taking up too much of that market, because they offered both. That's just what I think. I haven't looked at the data or anything, but would I ever own a Kentucky spec bus? Yeah, I would. I almost bought one back in November. It was a 2002 Bluebird 3800, but it had an AT 545, and that was kind of the thing that made me not really want it. Plus the fact that, there were still West Virginia spec Bluebird Internationals like this that I could buy. And that's what I'd rather have, so that's why I didn't buy it. It was from Greenup County, which is not too far from me, because, where I'm sitting, I am 18 miles from Kentucky. So, I do not personally have any Thomas C2 school buses. There used to be one that parked here for a few months, or almost a year. But the district that I drive for, all of their conventionals are C2s. There's over 100 of those that we have. We are 100% Thomas fleet, which sucks, but that's just the way it is. It is hot. But yeah, I like the C2. I just I kind of have to choose it as my favorite out of the big three right now, because I really don't have much experience in a CE or a Vision. I have no experience driving a Vision. I've never driven a newer one. But a Bluebird 3800, bought it from West Virginia. Nice. Bus 43, you saw the vid of first gen, looks like Cloverleaf's 41 or 44. Yeah, that one was from Youngstown. I actually helped deliver that one down to Mike and B. So there was 4 of us driving 2 or 3 rounds of buses down. They had like 10 or 12 up there. I think they had 12 or 10. They had 10, and they'd already brought 2 of them down, I think the day before, but I went all the way up to Akron to help bring some down. They had the first gen Vision, they had a Freightliner, and the rest they're all 2007 models. There was 8 C2s, 8 C2s, the Vision, and the Freightliner. They took 2 of the C2s down already. So there's me and another bus enthusiast that was involved. He's the one who invited me to come along and help. But we, about halfway down, we got off an interstate ramp. Well, the first round, I started driving the Freightliner, and it was a shorty. It was bus 81 from Youngstown. Very short. That thing was had an exhaust leak. It sounded awesome, but smelled terrible. But yeah, I took it for the first half down to that exit where we got off, and then we got back on the interstate, and I got in one of the C2s and drove it. It was one with the column shifter, which was pretty cool. I'd never driven one of those before. We had a couple, but I never got to drive them. Let's see. But I drove the C2 the rest of the way down, and then the second round, I hopped in the Vision, and that one had AC, but it didn't really blow cold. It kind of blew cool, but it was April, so it wasn't like hot. It was warm, but it wasn't hot. So it still helped. But I brought it down that first half, and then he took it for the second half. So that was nice. That was fun. It was a good day. I think the district should let you drive any bus you want. Yeah, it'd be nice, but there's things like seniority and how old my bus is. It's really not. It's about middle aged for our fleet. So it's 2017. I probably have at least 4 or 5 years before they give me a new one, I'd say. What was Cabell County's bus 657? Because I saw 3800 from West Virginia had very similar specs to Cabell. 657 was a Bluebird All-American RE. That one actually used to be a demo bus. Our Bluebird dealer at the time brought it down, to show us the new Transit, because they just discontinued the TC2000 rear engine, which is what we were ordering. There's a groundhog over there. Sorry. He is in the weeds right there. There he is. Kind of see him. See if he moves. Honk the horn. If I can. There he goes. But anyways, we did have Bluebird Internationals in the 650s. Actually 650 through 655. So if it was one of those, it very well could have been ours. Because I can't think of anybody else who would have had one in that number. Or like in that number range. Mercer County's in that number range now. They're in the 680s now, but their 650s are C2s and CEs, I think. The orange lights on first gen Vision's Cloverleaf 48 did not have the orange cover. Oh, yeah, the one near the headlights. Interesting. 466 with a 5-speed manual. That's a good combination. That could have been pretty much anywhere, though, depending on the age. Let's see. Hardy County had some of those. They still have some of them. Pendleton. Let's see. Barber had some around that age. Because all of them were sold off with that one. The rest of the manuals were sold off with that bus. They sold them all at that time. And one of the C2s shortly after. But, let's see. I'm trying to think of who else. McDowell. Well, no, theirs would have been 444, so it wouldn't have been them. Wouldn't have been Fayette, because theirs were 444s. Although they might have... No, I think they had some with 466s. Trying to think of who else had stick shifts. Did I say Harrison? Harrison had some. I have a map somewhere that I made. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head. Jackson had some, but they were 444s. Let's see. Saw it right near Mike and B's about a month ago. There was one on Facebook Marketplace that was up there in Ohio. I think in that area it was 654, been turned into a food truck. It was one of ours, yeah. One of the 30-passenger Chevrolet Magellan school buses. Have you ever driven one of those before? I know you used to ride on one in New York. Nope. Never driven a Type A. How's it going, Matt? I'm just kind of chilling here, talking about, bus-related things, I guess. If the link works, I'm going to show you a pic on Flickr of Cloverleaf 48 retired. Yeah. Feel free to email that to me or send it to the Facebook page. I don't really check the Facebook page all that often, but, if I tell you guys to check it, then I'll go. Or if I tell you guys to go look for it, and I'll check it for a few days after, if I remember. But, yeah. Let's see. Is there anything that you guys want to see on these buses that I haven't, or even if I've shown it off already, I'll go ahead and show it again, because I know it's kind of a cycle. Not everybody that was here from the beginning is here now, so they might not have been able to catch what I showed off earlier. Yeah, I did see 657 for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, funny story about 657. I actually rode it in 6th grade as a transfer bus, and me and a friend that rode, 681, we'd always sit together from the middle school all the way up to the high school, and he actually did his route on the way to the high school, so that was a rough route. But anyways, whenever all the other kids got off, we would come and sit in one of the front seats. Well, I was sitting here pretty much. I forget exactly what seat it was, but it was on this side of the bus. I had my trumpet, my book bag beside me, and then it was me, and then it was my friend. And we went around a sharp right curve to get up to the high school. And he says that I pushed him out of the seat whenever we did that. Whether did I not, or whether or not I did, I'm not going to go into. But anyways, yeah, that's a memory I have on that bus. So I kind of hated to see it like that whenever I saw the Facebook Marketplace listing. Burnouts and donuts. I'd love to if I could, but yeah, I don't think that would work very well on gravel or on the little paved part that we have here at the storage lot. I don't think they'd appreciate it because that's up closer to the front too. I guess there is a little bit of a paved piece right here, but I don't think it'd really work. Posted your first pics on Flickr recently. Nice. Black smoke, roll some coal. Actually, we might be able to get that done. Setting off fireworks. Not the town, but somebody locally is. What's that mirror? It's not really wanting to roll much now. That's about the best we're going to get out of 147 right now. 23, however, we'll find out. I don't know why I took the keys out of the ignition earlier. I was going to do that at the end after I shut everything down. But no, this one's not wanting to do it either. Yes, Barber County did have some. Actually, one of them is still in Barber County. I'm not sure if you're still here. Forget exactly what your name is. Last name's Workman. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. But it's in a town called Junior. I found it last time I was up there. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I was up there in Barber County. I went to their lot just to see, what they had new. And as I left, I went the same route. I took 23 home, and I was thinking I really need to bring this bus back and retry these roads. It was nice. 2004 Bluebird 3800. The last of the greats. I agree, 100%. I think, really after this, Bluebird went downhill. I'd say the first gen Visions were nice too. That was probably about the last of the really good ones. But I'm glad they kept the styling up until about 2013. But does 799 have a radio with Bluetooth? Nope. Besides 657 and 680, have I seen any X-Cabell County buses post-auction? 654 was on Facebook Marketplace. I remember 646 popped up on eBay shortly after it was sold. It was supposed to get exported, but well, they're setting off fireworks over there. Kind of see the smoke a little bit. But yeah, I remember 646 I saw on eBay back in like 2018, 2017, something like that. Of course, 594. I know where that one ended up. For its second, third, and fourth owners. I was number 3. Let's see. I'm trying to think. 571 ended up at a junkyard, which I have a video of. Just about an hour from here. There's a 70s EF up some random holler. I know where the road is. I don't know where the bus is, though. It's way back on somebody's property. I got sent pictures of it. It was number 22, I think. It was like a 71 Thomas front engine. Can you link your email so I can send the pic? busproject681@gmail.com. 609 still parked by that sports field? No, it is parked at a... That's a good one to bring up. It is now owned by a fireman training academy. First gen Bluebirds with the cats were slow. Yes, they were. I drove, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you're here for this, Matt, but I drove one about an hour and delivered it to Mike and B. Not April of this year, but April of last year. It was a 07, had, you know, Cat C7 in it, and it was very slow, but I enjoyed it. It was a nice driving bus. I honestly would love to own one, but I think I'd rather have a CV200 if I were to choose between that and a Vision. But the only West Virginia spec ones that I can find, well, one of them ended up at Mike and B and got scrapped. The other one, they were both from Barber County, but the other one is owned by a rafting company. Barber County 110 was the one that got, or 112 was the one that got scrapped, and actually the blue seats are going from that one are going in this one. So I thought that was kind of neat. But 110 is the one that ended up down there. 110 was sold shortly after this one was. They used it as a maintenance bus for a while. Got the 26 rafting bus fleet. Nice. 88 model and the fleet still in active service. Yeah, I still need to make it up that way. Did the Vision have chrome wheels? No, it did not. That one came from Pennsylvania. I think it came from 422 sales, if I'm not mistaken. I know which one you're talking about. Had the real, like they repainted the hood and it faded really bad. I'm going to hop off here in a few minutes because it is 8:30 and I have a friend coming to meet me out here within the hour, so I'd like to end this before, you know, they get here. But I just noticed that visor's kind of bent. I do have replacements, but I'll probably just try and hammer that one out straight. Wait, no, I remember when I changed those lights, I tried to hammer it out. Never mind. I do have replacements though, so maybe I'll just throw a new one on there. It's been a while since I've really had to work up there. I noticed that this one, it's kind of a bad comparison to make because that's got the high headroom rear roof cap, but this one, the warning lights are higher than they normally would be on a Bluebird International. This is more of like a Vision setup about 10 years later. This is kind of what this roof cap is more like. I don't think that this is a Vision roof cap though, or an update like a replacement roof cap, because it is, I mean, you can see where they've done body work here, but you can tell the paint difference, like from here versus there. That is still the old paint. So I think that's just, I guess that's when they started doing it, was around 04. I'll have to look at our 04s because this is right. I mean, Wood County's 04s and Cabell County's 04s were like sharing body numbers. The ones that were missing in between the Wood County buses were Cabell County buses and vice versa. So the early A3REs with the Cat 3126 sounded very good. Yes, we had 3 2003s that were that way, and I tried to buy one, but I couldn't try very hard, so it ended up getting away from me. One of them got scrapped. One of them ended up in Pennsylvania, and I'm not sure where the other one ended up. But, or the last one, 678's in Pennsylvania, 676 got scrapped, and 677, I'm not sure where it ended up. But one of our 2009 C2s is on auction right now. Yeah, we just sold a few 2009s. We actually have 2 batches of 09s, which I thought was interesting because I thought the last batch were 2010s, but there's very late 09s. Yeah, we have a batch with the Mercedes and then a batch with the Cummins. But we just sold a bunch of our Mercedes ones, and we have one left of the full-size buses, and then all but one of the handy buses. Sent the pic. Nice. I'll look at it after we get off of here. The custom plate. Oh yeah, I love it. I didn't know if they were going to give it to me, and I was out of town whenever it happened. Well, I was kind of in town, out of town a little bit. It was a trip that started here with friends, and then we went somewhere else. Late May, whenever it came in, and I ordered that thing back in February. So I talked to them. I was like, you know what? I wonder when that's going to come in. And then a couple hours later, my dad had texted me, said, hey, your new license plate is in. I said, oh, well, that works. Let's see. Your A3REs were scrapped this summer too. Yeah, I kind of hate it that happened. The one that got scrapped was actually there's another guy that used to live here. He's the one, or he still lives here, but he went to school here. Likes buses too. I don't think he's really into it as much as I am, which is fine. Everybody has different levels. I just choose to make it a personality trait, I guess. But anyways, he graduated, I think, 11 years before I did. So he is already finishing up high school whenever I was like, in early elementary school. But anyways, he rode 676 and 683. So 676 is the one that got scrapped, and they let me pull a couple parts off of it for him before they scrapped it. I still have him in my car. I haven't seen him since, but I need to get with him and give those to him. What would I think if Cabell bought Bluebird again? I would be very happy, though we actually had that conversation before we went up to the rodeo a couple weekends ago. Because I think my supervisor had mentioned to me something like, or we were just kind of talking about it, and I said if we were to switch, basically, I would personally choose IC if we were going to switch because the dealership is just up the road. We literally have like where they bring them all in from the factory to West Virginia. That is here in town. So, 15, 20 minutes from the bus garage. So it's instead of having to go, 2.5 hours to Bluebird, bus travel time, 2 hours to Bluebird, 30 minutes maybe up to International. The only thing is I forgot to mention this to them, where they're not building the RE anymore, and that's what we order. We order conventionals and rear engines, so we would have to either continue ordering Thomas or have to go with Bluebird rear engines. Let's see, live chat, if it'll let me do it. Brunswick and Ohio has a lot of A3s. I have not seen their fleet, but I'm sure I could find pictures of them. I'll take your word for it. I'm sure they probably won't last longer. No, but I guess we're just not happy with the Thomases, even though we have a whole fleet of them. It does make sense to, have an all Thomas fleet or an all IC fleet or an all Bluebird fleet because the mechanics get more, acclimated to working on those. And, parts storage and things like that. But from what I was told, we really don't even store that many parts. We just order them when we need them. So, our Thomas dealer, we have a branch that's half an hour down the road too. So it's not where they all come in for the state. They all actually come in Parkersburg, where this one's from. But that's about 2 hours away. So whenever they get delivered, it's not just up the road, but we do have a branch of the Thomas dealership that is pretty close. So Bluebird's really the one that's kind of out of the way. Would I ever want to own a Super 2? Okay, so I would love to have a Super 2. I've never ridden on one, never driven one, but from what I hear, those are the best riding buses ever, and I'll take their word for it. But the only thing about owning a Crown Super Coach, and I love people. I love sharing my hobby with people. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but a lot of Crown enthusiasts can just be unbearable to deal with. If you do something that they don't like, then they just it's a mob, typically. I just don't want to deal with that. Not only that, but, Crown Super Coaches cost a lot of money because they are very desirable. It doesn't matter if they're, Super 2 or if they're the Twinkie. But I'd like to have a Super 2, but I just don't want to deal with the mob. Do I play any sports? Nope. Seems like buses vary and specs update, so parts aren't always interchangeable. Absolutely, yeah. The only thing is, like, a lot of the parts, I know you know this better than I do, but I'm just going to say this for the other people who may not know this. Or, I mean, it's kind of obvious to me, but anyways, they haven't really done a whole lot of updating in general with or that took them 20 years to update the CE. C2's had some minor updates, but nothing, too extravagant, so like body parts or like, dash panels. A lot of that stuff stays the same. So I can understand why, if it was back whenever these buses were built, where the 3800 chassis, I mean, it lasted 15 years, but it had a lot of mechanical updates to it. That was the era whenever they went from fully mechanical to, electronic engines. You had a lot of variation there. You had a lot of different engine options in these buses too, especially in the beginning. Or the Freightliner, this lasted 10 years, 97 to 07. So I guess, 11 years, whatever it is. But, you had a few different engine options in them. They updated small things on them, like the dash. They updated, I know this is small, but the grill. The engines had different things, that updated as they went along because, they outsource the engines. Things of that nature. So you also had a lot more body choices with these too. Like, you can get Bluebirds, you can get Thomases, whatever. You could order different things and still have the more, like, you could order a Thomas 3800 one year and a Bluebird 3800 the next year, but you could have the 3800 part be exactly the same. That's usually what's important. I mean, the body's important too, but that's what people were mainly concerned about. Let's see. How would I feel if the Crown 3800 still existed? I think it'd be cool. I wish that, I understand why it happened this way, but I wish that we still were in a market where you had the chassis manufacturers and the body manufacturers separate, because I think that, I like that sort of variety. I think I'm actually going to do a video on this at some point. I just need to put it together and put it out. Put it together, make sure it's okay, and then put it out. I haven't even started filming on it. I've started kind of an outline on it. But anyways, kind of comparing old buses and new buses is what that video is going to be about. But these older buses, they were much more reliable. But the thing is with them, I think they were more, it's a good idea from a mechanic standpoint to have these, something like this, where they're built to last, more reliable. But from a driver standpoint, newer buses all the way. The technology is there that, makes them more efficient, or I guess not more efficient, in a way, I guess. And there are certain ways that they're more efficient, but they're a lot more driver friendly. There's a lot more safety features on them that I think are a good thing, some of them not, but they both have their upsides and their downsides, essentially. See, my point is, even if you stay with the same brand, oh yeah, they update things. Yeah, I understand that. But usually, to my understanding, I don't run these commercially. I'm not a transportation director somewhere, but for the most part, things stay the same, and I understand why they just stick with one manufacturer. But I understand why they want to go with different ones too. Year to year, every few years, whatever. On the Ward Center, I think Ward Centers are pretty cool. When I own my high school bus from 2017, it's 2017 C2 100th anniversary. That bus will always have a place in my heart. Yeah, I like 2017 C2s. I drive one, so they're nice buses. I wouldn't own one just because I don't want to deal with DEF, but I guess I can get that stuff deleted, but that's illegal. So do as I say and not as I would do in that case. Softer ride, Thomas or IC? I'm not driven an IC on the road yet, so I can't really give a real opinion on those. But Thomas's ride pretty all right. I feel like every Thomas I've driven those had like a shake in the rear end. We'll go ahead and do the light show because somebody wants to see it. So turn these on because might as well. Like to find an 80s Ford bus. That'd be nice. I like those. Found a lot of people, or found on my lots, Google Maps, we had a few Amtran Genesises. Nice. We used to have 4 of them. 608, which was a 94, and then 616 through 618, which were 96s, I think. I know we're going to get the annoying Freightliner buzzer, but do I know any districts still running A3s? Yeah, in West Virginia, I know of a few. Mercer County has a couple of front engines. Wood County, where this one came from, still has a lot of the rear engines. But, let's see. I think Hardy County has 1 or 2 of them. Trying to think of who else might have one. I know there's a couple districts that still have them. I'm just not thinking of them right now. Wyoming County, I think, has 1 or 2 of them. I could be wrong on that, though. Does the suspension flex on when you stop on the bus? I'd say it probably does a little bit. I'm not up there looking at it because, you know, I'm in the driver's seat, but I think I'm going to stay live for about 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to close this up because it's getting close to 9 o'clock. That's when I'm supposed to be meeting my friend, so they might have texted me already. I'm not sure. We'll go ahead and start them up. Might as well give a good send-off for this live stream. I've got a light out on that stop sign on that bus. There we go. Cross arm's a little higher than I thought it'd be. Oh, I dropped it. There we go. There we go. No, we're not going to do any driving, especially since I'm going to, you know, get off of here pretty soon. But that's one thing I did mention at the beginning, is we're not going to be driving any of these. But what I will do is I'm going to turn the red lights off on these. And we'll go ahead and open up the hoods. That looks like. The only reason I turned the red lights off is just because I didn't want the cross arms to be out. But there's no cross arm cancel on these. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed sticking around for the live stream. I hope that, you know, you guys have a good rest of your 4th of July. And I'm glad you guys stuck around and watch this live stream. And I am tired, as you can probably tell, but yeah, have a good rest of your evening.